This is about you having the best results for all the energy you want to put into something. And again, with the gate 32, it is about abundance and resources and how you make your money, your career. And this is moving ahead in all those types of places that are truly important to you to get ahead and to have the success that you want. Because the other side of the gate 32 is this idea that you're scared that you may not get where you want to go, but there's also awareness within the gate 32, which says that if you take the right opportunities and make the right changes, you will get where you want to go. So you have the choice to decide whether you want to let the fear take you to a place where you feel disempowered, or let your awareness take you to the place where it says, okay, I know the way to go and I will be given the breadcrumbs to take me where I need to go as I need them. Hi, this is Denise Matthew. I hope you're doing well. Today we're here to talk about the full moon happening on September 29th, and this will be happening at 6 degrees Aries. This is actually the first full moon that we're going to have since July 22nd, 2023, where all the personal planets, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, are all going direct. So we've got a lot more forward motion compared to where we were, for the last couple of months. This also means that we're going to want to move really fast. So there is a literal energy that comes with the gate 18 line 3, as well as of course there's other energies that can come out of it as well. And the literal energy that is attached to the gate 18 line 3 is this idea of wanting to clean house. So doing your spring cleaning, but doing it now as opposed to spring. And I guess for some people it would be spring. So if you're in Australia or New Zealand, then you're going to be going into your spring equinox. And so I guess you would be doing spring house cleaning. So that's just a mundane expression of the energy. Of course, there's always going to be more to it than that. But when we also have Mars in the gate 32 and the South Node being activated, it does bring in more of a financial abundance energy and a focus on how you can get ahead in life and have more abundance and be more secure in your life in general. This is also bringing an overarching energy to want to get a lot of things done, to move ahead, to fast forward on everything, and to get things done because maybe it's felt like it's been really sluggish for the last little while and you just want to move ahead and you're tired of just sitting in one place and waiting for this to show up and waiting for that to show up. So there is that underlying energy of wanting to go really fast and get things done. But what this says is that it'll be really easy to underestimate how much time and effort things take to get going. So if you allot an hour to do something, it's probably going to take 3 hours. But what's going to happen is if you allot an hour to do something and it's taking longer, it can get frustrating. So it's going to make it easier to let go of that thing altogether, to quit that thing instead of kind of persevering and just taking the time that's required, understanding that sometimes things take more time and it's worth it. So there is this rush in this energy to just get things done and not really have to do it for a certain period of time or too long. And that is one of the biggest keys with this whole full moon is to take your time and to understand that things will take time that matter in your life. And that if you're trying to rush through and you're getting frustrated and you end up quitting, it's better just not to start because you're not going to be putting your energy into something that's going to give you something back in return. And that's what the gate 17 line 3 is saying. The moon and the earth are grounding you in the idea of whatever is worth doing well. And if it isn't worth doing well, there's no point in doing it. And that's what the gate 17 is truly saying. They're both logical energy, both the gate 18 and the gate 17. And that's talking about logical talent and how things get done in logic. And it is about wash, rinse, repeat. In other words, there is a lot of repetition, getting better, honing your skills. And that can be boring. There's no getting around it. And boredom is one of the best ways for us to look for an opportunity to exit before we finish something. So this is saying getting a realistic perspective, slow and steady, taking your time to get ahead and taking breaks when you need to, and not having this very fixed goal of it all has to be done at this particular point. Instead, looking at the small goals that you've achieved, the things you've already achieved at this point, the steps that you've taken forward. And that is really what can help you move through the energy of this full moon. Another theme that can be present with this full moon is this concept of looking for things or mistakes or problems that don't exist and trying to fix things that don't need to be fixed. It's easy to get so involved in the process of correcting things that you lose the thread and you continue to try and correct things that are perfectly fine as they are. And when you do that, you're pulling your energy away from what matters to you, the things that are really important in your life, and putting it into something that doesn't matter. In fact, that is one of the biggest themes that you can see in the world around us. We are focused on what the celebrities are doing, and yet we're maybe not focused on our own lives. And that is what we see happening. You have expeditions to the moon with lots of money, millions and billions of dollars being spent, and we have people who are starving. So this is where it's saying put the focus into your life where it needs to be focused on and let go of the things that are just running just fine on their own. So this is the mantra, the very cliche thing we say that if it isn't broken, don't fix it. If we bring in Mars and this fast kind of pushy energy to get things going, to move ahead, to get on your horse and start flying through the field. Maybe you don't know where you're going, but you're going somewhere. Well, that's the kind of energy that Mars is going to bring. And it's going to just say, oh, you don't need any details. You don't need to know where you're going. You don't need to plan. You can just kind of jump on that horse and just go. And in the meantime, the horse doesn't have food. It's cold out. You didn't bring a coat. And all these things are important. And this is where change potentially that you want to make, or things that you want to do, goals that you want to start working towards, working out the details and being very methodical about it, and knowing that you sort of have a game plan. Of course, game plans are to be tweaked as you go along the way, but logic says, let's have a plan, and experiential energy says, okay, when the plan isn't working, we change it. And this is what it's saying. But if you don't have a plan, then it's so much easier to get in a place where you're stumbling and you're just not really getting where you want to go. And the south node in the gate 32 line 5 adds even more emphasis on this, and it talks about potentially cutting corners and maybe not taking sound advice from somebody who knows what they're talking about and just saying, no, I know my way forward. I don't need to listen to you. So in other words, this is saying being open. Of course, you always have your own authority. So if it doesn't feel correct for you, it isn't correct. But if it feels correct and your mind is saying, I don't have time for this, I don't want to listen to this, as opposed to your authority saying, yeah, this might make sense to me, then that is something that, working with is important to get you where you want to go. Ultimately, the message for this full moon is to take your time, pace yourself, because if you do, you're probably going to get a lot more done with a focused approach as opposed to flying out of the gates, running out of steam, and never really getting to the destination that you truly want to go to. And with all this corrective energy and lots of opinions in the air, it is a time for this full moon and for the next 2 weeks afterwards to try and be Teflon coated, to let things slide off you when people say things, to get out of the energy of those who have all the opinions, they know everything about the world. So rather than debate them or try and tell them why they're wrong, ultimately this is about opinions. Gate 17 is about opinions. So unless it's a fact, it isn't true. So nobody really has a correct opinion. They have a supposition, but if it hasn't been proven, then it isn't true, and there's no point in debating it. So if it gets to be too much being out in the world, getting out in nature and having some quiet time on your own might be just the right solution. So with that said, I hope you have an amazing full moon, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you again soon.